Now, I know this is a video that most of you are very excited about. We're going to be starting to talk about this thing here, the muscle meter, the world's most intuitive and affordable muscle strength tester. And I know a lot of you are excited about it and implementing it into your business. We've got thousands of these going around to health and fitness professionals right around the world. And it's a filling out journey of being able to provide these to every single room in every single business so that every client can get access to it and every health and fitness professional can utilize it with the people that they work with to get great life-changing outcomes. So we're really excited about that. Now, we need to talk a little bit about the device first, I guess, and how, before we start to get into how you can start to implement it and use it. So you'll notice when you get your device, there's 3 buttons on the front. We've got a unit button, we've got an on and off button, and we've got a tear button. So the on and off is quite simple. You push it, it turns on, takes 2 seconds or so to load up. You push it, it turns off instantly. Very simple. We've got the unit button, which there will change it between kilograms and then to pounds for our American friends over there. So we can simply switch between those modes really easily. We do also have different testing modes linked in that button too. So if you hold that unit button, you'll see it'll for 2 to 3 seconds. You'll see it'll flash with a PP or a PL. So if we switch to PP, like I just did here, it goes into the peak power mode, which is the mode you're going to use if you're using the device without the measures app. So that will hold the peak force on there. And then to reset that, you just use the tear button, which is obviously sort of to calibrate it and to re-zero it. If you hold it for another 3 seconds, though, it switches it to live mode, where you'll see the forces go up and down, which is what we use when we're integrating it with the 3 different testing modes built into the Measures app. So that hopefully helps them clarify. I know that's a big issue that people often have and one of the things that people often struggle to work out. So making sure if you want to switch those modes between whether you're using it in Measures or not, you hold the unit button down for 2 to 3 seconds. The other button here, the tear, which you saw the function of that just then, and that's basically re-zeros it if you're in that peak power or peak hold mode. You can also use the peak power mode when you are using Measures, but after you perform your test in Measures with the peak power mode and it's on the screen, you must hit the tear button for it to re-zero, for that to be captured into the Measures app. So we definitely recommend using the live mode because it allows you to perform multiple repetitions with the Measures app, as you'll see in the next video that we'll do. But you can also use the peak power mode. You just won't be able to perform multiple repetitions as easily with the people you're working with. It's really important when you are working with the live mode in the Measures app that each time that you start the repetition and each time you finish the repetition, it gets to 0. It doesn't get back to 0, it doesn't start at 0. You're not going to get accurate and reproducible results. So it's always recommended to take a couple of seconds in between each repetition to make sure that it re-zeros. If you have got some weight or using it with the pull device in there, it's not going back to 0. Obviously, using the tear button will allow it to go to 0, and you'll be able to capture your peak forces in there. So really simple device, really intuitive to be able to use. Pick it up literally in the space of 3 seconds or so. You can get testing with the people you work with, or you can easily pair it up with the Measures app. So that's obviously use it in push mode. We've got our pusher cap here, which sort of just clicks on and off the device here. We've also got these protectors for the load cell down the other end of the device, which simply just pull out. And you're going to take those out, and you're going to also take off the pusher cap when you start to use it with the puller strap and the anchor attachment that we've got. And so I've got a device here that I've prepared earlier where we've got our blue anchor strap, which goes onto the blue end of the device. This is another question that I often get from people. So it's really important when you're using when you get the puller strap, the anchor strap for the first time, that you really pull it back and just loosen it up a little bit. Sometimes they can be a bit tight out of the box. And then all you simply do is you push it onto the device there, it goes through the hole, and you click it in. So really easy to be able to pop that on and off. Then the black handle and strap goes on the opposite end. So again, if it's a little bit tight, you can just stretch it out, but all you do is simply put that on and clicks on. So again, really easy to be able to use that pulling type mode or that distraction type mode when you're using the muscle meter as well. So the difference between using the push mode or versus the pull mode is that the push mode is often really easy and quick to be able to use in the session. Whereas using this, it often requires a little bit more time and setup for the specific position. Get much more accurate and reproducible data when you're using the puller mode because it takes out some of that individual factor of and some of the errors that often we can make as assessors. So it's something really nice and a really good way to go about it. It does take a little bit longer to perform. We're seeing about 85 to 90% of people are performing the test in the push mode as it's the most easy mode to be able to use with your patients and clients. You can also pair up the muscle meter with our new tester platform as well. So it's an isometric testing platform where you can attach on your anchor strap, or we can use other, there's a chain that comes with it as well. And you can use that in pulling mode to get some more standardizable results as well. So we highly recommend you get one of those too. It'll just take your assessment to the next level. With the muscle meter itself, though, when you are utilizing it, there's a battery, lithium battery built into the device. And so that will typically last for around 30 days or more, depending on the usage you got there. You do have a USB charging point just on the side there and a cable that comes with it. I highly recommend you use the cable that comes with the device to make sure that you're getting the best experience and you don't create any damage to the device. There is a maximum 5 volt charger capacity, so make sure you don't exceed that charger capacity when you're using the muscle meter when you're charging it there. You can also put 3 AAA batteries into it as backup power, or you can use that as your main power to run it as well. We've put that in there, so if you do go out and you're testing some sports teams that you work with, you can make sure that you're not going to go flat even if you use it sort of constantly throughout a couple of days when you're out on the road with people as well. So it's just a nice little backup feature that we've got there to allow you to make sure you never run out of battery power. There's nothing worse than that when you're out and about. The good news is if the battery does go flat, it does charge very quickly as well. You'll find it'll get to sort of 85 to 90% charge in about 2 to 2.5 hours. So it's really nice, really quick to be able to charge it and last for a long time. We've talked about some of the testing modes with the Measures app now, but I'm just going to pop them up on the screen so you can have a bit of a look if you're trying to find those in there. So we've got 3 different testing modes, which we'll talk a bit more about in the next video. But you've got the muscle meter max mode, which is basically measuring the max and the average power. You've got the muscle meter endurance mode, which is measuring power and the max power and the average power or strength over a period of time. And then you've got the muscle meter RFD mode, which is measuring your rate of force development. It'll also give you your max and average of that, as well as your max and average strength as well. So it's a really nice way to be able to assess lots of different capacities there. So they're the 3 categories. There's over 50 different tests in each of those categories that you start to perform on all the different muscles in the body. And as always, if you do have any tests that you want to be added into there that we don't have, make sure you send us an email. You've got the contact form through the Measures app itself or through our website, and we're happy to put that in there. We can usually get some new tests put in there within the day, within 24 hours for you. So don't be afraid to reach out there. So hopefully that's a little bit of an insight into the muscle meter and how you can start to use it, some of the basic functionality of it to get your head around it. But the best way to learn is to get out there and start to do these things. So I highly recommend get it out, start to assess your clients, and we look forward to hearing your feedback and seeing some of your social posts on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and those things as well. We really love seeing the great outcomes you're getting with the people you work with, and some of that is fantastic, your assessment you're doing with our MAP products. So make sure you tag us in it as well. Otherwise, have a great day. I look forward to showing you in the next video how you can get the most out of the muscle meter using our Measures app.